In this video, I'll show you how to create a simple part. So we'll go to File, New, click on Part, say OK. And we're going to start with a sketch. So go to Sketch and click. So once you click on the Sketch tab, just click on Sketch and then choose a plane. It really doesn't matter what plane you choose. I'm going to choose the front in this case. And I'll use the Line tool. Now here's my origin, and the software wants to know where you are relative to the origin. So a couple ways you can build this part. Because there's no symmetry on this part, I'm just going to start the corner of the part right there on the origin. It does make the dimensioning part just a little bit easier. And then I'm just going to go around, and I'm just sketching the shape. Now notice you've got some guidelines if I want to line that up with there. Same thing here if I want to get back to this origin point. Hit Escape because I've got it all drawn. Now notice how the lines are blue. Blue means it's not constrained. If you come down to the lower right hand corner, you'll see it says underdefined. So you could certainly extrude this shape. It just doesn't have much value because it doesn't have any dimensions on it. So let's go up here to Smart Dimension and put dimensions on there. So when everything is constrained, now notice how that dimension is appearing. Now my units are in inches, pounds, second, but that's an ISO type dimension. But what we want to use is ASME or ANSI, so ASME or ANSI dimensions. So if you come up here to Document Properties, you can see Overall Drafting Standard. Now I've seen this happen before. Let's click it over to ISO and say OK. So that's an ISO dimension. Let's come up here and again, Options, Document Properties, and let's flip it to ANSI and say OK. And it should update. So sometimes you have to go through that cycle through to get the dimensions. That's what you want it to look like. Not so critical on your sketch. It is more critical when you get to the drawing phase. Okay, so let's keep dimensioning here. And this dimension is 4. That's 1.5. Now you can just click on a line, or you can click on the endpoints of a line. Now if something goofy like that happens, see what it did? It flopped around. You've seen that before with other modeling. So we can just undo that if we want. You can always undo things. And let's go ahead and put some more dimensions on here, and we'll come back to that. That's usually the easiest way to get control, to try to get control of the sketch. And that's 1 inch. Oops, sorry, that's supposed to be 0.5 inch. And that's 1.5 from there to there. And let's see if we can put that 1 inch dimension on there. There we go. Now notice these two don't line up. This line here is still blue. It just means you need an additional dimension. So the fact that it's blue is just kind of telling you may want to evaluate, see if you've missed something. So now all the lines are black, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and finish my sketch. Now if I need to add some relationships, all of these green boxes are indicating that these lines, those are vertical lines. That's a horizontal, a vertical. Excuse me, that means that's at the midpoint, which doesn't really do anything for us. But if you need to add constraints, they're right here. You could say Add Relations, and then you can click on Items, and it'll tell you what relations are available to you. So those are additional constraints. We don't need those for this. Okay, let's go up here. Click on that in the upper right-hand corner. That'll give us, that's how you finish the sketch. And you'll see what we have is, now I'm holding down the middle mouse button. We just have that flat sketch. Now I'm going to go to the Features tab. I'm trying to create a positive space, so do Extruded Boss Base. Because we only have one sketch here, the software knows what the sketch to choose. Otherwise you'd have to click on that. And here's your options in terms of how you want to extrude it. Blind would just mean from where it is, just go a certain distance, up to a surface, up to a body. I'm going to just do mid-plane. It's a good habit to do typically. let's see, and this would be your thickness of the part. In this case, it's 2 inches, so you can see it extruded 1 inch on either side of that plane. We'll say OK, and if you left click, that shadow thing will go away. So that's my model of the part, and you can see over here, there's the body. If you move your cursor over there, that'll highlight. If you click on the little arrow next to there, you can see your sketch. Now if you need to go in there and edit the sketch, just right click, go up here where it says edit sketch. It'll take you back to your sketch if need be. If you need to edit the extrusion, put your cursor on there, right click, edit the feature. And now let's say I decided that I wanted it to be 3 inches instead of 2 inches. Then I can make that change. And again, you can always undo stuff if you don't like it. Let's add a hole in that part. So I'm going to click on sketch, click on that surface, and then you can use Control 8. That's a shortcut to give you a perpendicular view. It's probably the easiest way to do that. And let's put a hole in that part. And again, just sketch it. Then we'll go to Smart Dimensions and locate it. Remember, with a hole, you have to call out the size of the hole and also the location of the hole. I made it easy on myself. Everything here is 1 inch. Okay, done with that. Let's finish the sketch. So I've got that sketch on that surface. Up to features, and this time we're going to do extruded cut. It's a kind of a habit to go to this. If you use that, it's going to try to create a positive. That's not what we want in this case. We want a negative. So go to extruded cut, click on your circle, and then you're going to indicate how deep. Now the software it has the number that I had in when I extruded as 2 inches. So you can do blind or you can do through. It's going to do the same thing. And say OK, and that'll punch a hole in the part. And again, here's my body. There's my hole. If I need to edit that, right click, edit the feature. If I wanted to change, for example, if I didn't want it to go all the way through. If I need to change the sketch, click on that arrow, right click, and edit sketch. If I wanted to change the size of the hole or something like that. Okay, and then again, always finish the sketch before you make another move. So there is my part. Now let's look at a couple things here in terms of navigation. If you come up here and if you want to use this tool to move around, I don't use it that much. I usually, again, hold down your middle mouse button and you can rotate it, or excuse me, you can zoom it and so forth. If you click on this arrow here, you'll see this box around the part, and whatever side of this box you click on, for example, if I click on there, it's going to take me around to that side. Or if I click on one of these corners, it'll bring me kind of to a diagonal view. So oops, so that's another way to navigate around. If you wanted to change the appearance of it, if you wanted to just make it a wireframe or a wireframe that shows hiddens, etc. And sometimes that's helpful if you have a really complicated part. Okay, I think that takes care of that. We do want to save that, so let's do a save as. And I'll call that example 2. And now it's going to save it as a PRT, part file. Save that.